Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swaminiti Namine. Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangur langayate girim. Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Welcoming all of you again to Gaura Katha Day 6. So yesterday we just finished our Vrindavan Yatra. Sriman Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we went with him to South India, and then we went to the west coast of India, came back to Orissa, to Jagannath Puri for the Rath Yatra. And then after the Rath Yatra, after Mahaprabhu gave his supreme mercy, his loving, compassionate mercy to the most deserving soul, Maharaj Prataparudra, then Mahaprabhu went to Sri Vrindavan Dham. And after going to Vrindavan Dham, we heard how Mahaprabhu stayed there for some time. He discovered the places of Shamakund and Sri Radhakund. And he used to stay at Imli Tala, where there is Mahaprabhu's Boitok, even till today. So Mahaprabhu is now coming back to Jagannath Puri, and he is going to now spend the rest of his time in Jagannath Puri. So Mahaprabhu, of course, I do also want to mention that one of the times that Mahaprabhu, he had quite a few failed attempts to Vrindavan actually. And one time when Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan in one of his attempts to go to Vrindavan, he was again misdirected by the potency of Lord Nityananda. And Mahaprabhu, instead of Vrindavan going towards the west or the north, he actually went opposite direction. He went to Kanai Natshala. And Kanai Natshala is an extremely beautiful place, very, very beautiful place. And when Mahaprabhu was going to Kanai Natshala, there was one very ardent follower of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He was very devoted and very dedicated brahmachari, celibate monk of Lord Chaitanya. And he was so powerful that he was actually sitting in samadhi. He was meditating, and he could understand that Lord Chaitanya's tender lotus feet is walking on, just muddy, little pebbled roads where the thorns are pricking the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, and he could not tolerate that. So sitting in his meditation, it is said that this brahmachari, Nrsingananda brahmachari, he actually paved a beautiful path in his mind, which was, it was filled with soft, lush grass. There were sweet smelling roses and wild flowers along the way. There were kadamba trees, huge kadamba trees on either side of the road, giving so much shade to Mahaprabhu that the scorching sun would not touch his delicate body. So like this, in his meditation, Nrsingananda Brahmachari is explained that he was paving the pathway for Mahaprabhu to walk. And Mahaprabhu was literally going in that same way. So we can understand that this is telepathy at a totally different level altogether. It's on the transcendental level. This is how much the devotees were so attached to Gauranga Mahaprabhu that they could not even tolerate that Mahaprabhu is walking with his bare foot. He was going towards Kanai Natshala. So Kanai Natshala is actually the place when Mahaprabhu arrived there. This very, very beautiful place. And there the Ganges is not like a river. Ganga Mata, there she appears like an ocean because you cannot see the other side of the Ganges at Kanai Natshala. She appears like an ocean there. You can just see one of the sides and you can't see where she's ending. You can't see the other side of the bank of the Ganges. She's so huge, so beautiful, so, and it's like almost like a hill station. Like, there's very beautiful hills, and the temple of, there's a very, very beautiful temple that is situated on the hilltop, and Mahaprabhu is said to have visited this place. And there's a very beautiful tree over there. And that tree, when Mahaprabhu was sitting and chanting in separation from Krishna, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, Mahaprabhu was experiencing extreme vipralambhas, service in separation from Krishna. At that time, Krishna himself, Vrajendra Nandana Shri Krishna, gave his beautiful darshan to Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And seeing, Krishna so beautiful, a young, attractive cowherd boy, he had yellow silken dhoti, and there was a beautiful, waist belt. He had forest flower garland, and, a little sash of ribbon here with the peacock feather, and Krishna's black, curly hair along his lotus-like face. So beautiful Krishna was. And he was so enchantingly playing on his flute. So Mahaprabhu just ran towards this tree to embrace Krishna. But Krishna immediately disappeared. And Mahaprabhu embraced that tree, and that tree, by the embrace of Mahaprabhu, actually became Amar. It became eternal. So that tree which Mahaprabhu embraced is said to be there even till today. Fortunate souls, whoever can go to Kanai Natshala, we urge you to go there and hug that same tree. And it is said that if you hug the tree that Mahaprabhu embraced in loving separation from Krishna, we will also be infected with that same love of Krishna. So this is a very beautiful pastime of Mahaprabhu going, to Kanai Natshala and him being infested with the darshan of Krishna. And whenever Mahaprabhu, after he came back from Kanai Natshala, he used to always just keep, chanting in separation that where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Why can't I see Krishna? And in that separation, Mahaprabhu actually started staying in the home of Kashi Mishra in Jagannath Puri. Kashi Mishra's home came to be known as Gombhira. Gombhira means, literal meaning of the word Gombhira means very stern, very, serious, very, not having any hanky-panky business, very serious mood. And that was exactly the mood that Mahaprabhu had whenever he would enter into his residence in Gombhira, into the house of Kashi Mishra. And this Gombhira was almost like a 5 to 6 minute walk from Jagannath temple, from the Shriji Mandir, and Mahaprabhu would stay here. Mahaprabhu's room, if all of us, who have seen Gombhira, it is said that Gombhira, in that room Mahaprabhu stayed, it was not more than, I think it's around 8 by 6, 8 feet by 6 feet. Or even it could be even less, 8 feet by maybe even 4 feet. Very, very small, very small. And Mahaprabhu would just shrivel up and just, sit, and, he would spend his nights at Gombhira. And his nights would actually be that he would sit with Kashi Mishra. He would sit, sometimes Lord Nityananda would come, Advaita Gosai would come, Rupa Sanatan would come sometimes to see Mahaprabhu. So all of these personalities, they would come and they would discuss deep, intense Krishna Katha. And Gombhira means this mood of intensity, the mood of density, and Mahaprabhu would be in that very, very serious mood in Gombhira. And in this Gombhira, Mahaprabhu would come after sunset and he would leave from Gombhira at sunrise. So as soon as, before sunrise, Mahaprabhu would leave from Gombhira and he would go and take his bath in the ocean. And then he would go for darshan at the temple of Lord Jagannath. Where Lord Chaitanya would stand at the temple of Lord Jagannath and take his darshan, it is explained that Mahaprabhu's body would have such great manifestation of ecstatic symptoms. It is said that Mahaprabhu would use these 3 fingers and he would hold it in this position, like this position against a wall. He would use it lean, towards this wall like a pillar to see Lord Jagannath. And this is near the Garuda Stambha, right across of Lord Jagannath. This behind the Garuda Stambha, Lord Chaitanya would stand at this position and he would press the wall so that, he could see Lord Jagannath very clearly. Because if you're standing straight from Garuda Stambha, you can only see Subhadra Devi and Balabhadra. But to see Jagannath, you have to lean. You have to lean and, see from the corner like that. So Mahaprabhu, in order to balance himself, he used to use these 3 fingers and he would lean himself against that pillar and he would take darshan of the sweet, smiling face of Lord Jagannath. And that 3 fingers impression, which is like almost like a triangle, just like that is there till today. When you go behind that pillar from, Garuda Stambha, if you press against those 3 very sweet, very cute impressions of the fingers of Lord Chaitanya, you can see the sweet smiling face of Lord Jagannath. And that pillar actually has great Leelas. Mahaprabhu would always stand at this pillar and he would see Lord Jagannath. One day we know that there was so much rush at the Jagannath Mandir. Everyone so eager to see the Lord of the universe. So there was this old lady, very fragile old lady. She came and she could not see. She was, so old, so fragile. She couldn't see Lord Jagannath. There were all these, young and vibrant and energetic people in front of her. She couldn't even see Lord Jagannath. So what did she do? She actually, the way Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga Mahaprabhu was standing against this pillar, she thought that seeing the motionless form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, she thought that there is an extension of a golden pillar standing against this original stone pillar. So she effortlessly started climbing the transcendental body of Mahaprabhu and she came and stood on the shoulder of Mahaprabhu, and she was standing on the shoulder of Mahaprabhu. She was saying Jai Jagannath because she could see Jagannath very clearly. And all the devotees, they were pulling her down. What are you doing? You're standing on the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Mahaprabhu was extremely pleased. Lord Chaitanya was so pleased that he could at least facilitate this old Mata's desire for seeing Lord Jagannath. And he was completely, above and beyond, because his ecstasy of seeing Jagannath, it is said that when Jagannath would see Mahaprabhu, Jagannath would freeze with unblinking eyes, Jagannath would look at Mahaprabhu. And same with Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu would see Jagannath, Mahaprabhu would get frozen. Because as we were discussing yesterday, Jagannath is Krishna in the mood that he's separated from Srimati Radharani. He is Krishna experiencing the separation from Srimati Radharani. And here is Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is Srimati Radharani and is experiencing separation from Krishna. So these personalities, when they would come face to face with each other, they would just freeze. So Mahaprabhu did not even realize, externally, that this old lady had climbed up on his shoulder and was seeing Lord Jagannath. But this was, some of the pastimes that was happening in Jagannath Puri temple with Mahaprabhu. And then it is explained, in connection to the impressions that we were discussing. In the same line, one time what happened is that, so as I've said, that these 3 finger impressions can be seen even till today at the pillar behind Garuda Stambha in the Jagannath temple. But similarly, when Lord Jagannath, after taking his annual bath in front of everybody, the Snan Yatra ceremony, we all know that Jagannath manifests the Leela of him becoming sick. He just gets so sick that he does not give darshan to anybody for 2 weeks. 15 days he is closed and nobody can get to see him. So Mahaprabhu would feel such extreme separation from Jagannath that he could not tolerate it. So what he would do is that he would run 14 kilometers towards, towards the other side of Jagannath Puri, and he would just run to that place called as Brahmagiri. Brahmagiri, this place is also known as Alarnath. And there's a very beautiful deity of Lord Narayan, the 4-handed form of Lord Narayan. And Mahaprabhu, when he would see Lord Alarnath, at that time, he would actually find Lord Alarnath to be non-different from Lord Jagannath. So he would come running to see this beautiful 4-handed deity of Alarnath deity. And it is explained that when Mahaprabhu would, experience such great, ecstatic symptoms, he would manifest that he actually, when he one time came and offered his obeisances to Alarnath, the heat, the ecstatic heat coming out from Mahaprabhu's body melted a stone. A big boulder of stone, it just melted. And the entire bodily impression of Mahaprabhu from his head till the, tip of his toe was impressed upon this big boulder of stone. And it is there till today on the side of the deity of the temple of Alalnath. If we go there, we can see the melted stone carrying the impression, the bodily impression of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So beautiful. You can see the round, just like Panchatattva we see in Mayapur, when we see them during Abhishek, how Mahaprabhu looks. Mahaprabhu has a round head, such a round head he has. So this particular impression, where Mahaprabhu's bodily impression is, he actually has a round head. It's so beautiful. It's perfectly round shaped. And Mahaprabhu's hands can be seen, his, the curvature of his body, his waist, his, lower body, his lotus feet. You can see everything. The impressions are so deep, so clear. And, it's great fortune to be able to actually see this impression of the body of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu at Alalnath. And this Alalnath deity of Lord Vishnu at Brahmagiri has a very special Leela. It is said that this deity is even older than from before the time of Lord Jagannath. He's being worshipped. And it is explained that Alalnath deity was worshipped by Lord Brahma himself. And that's why this place is called as Brahmagiri, means the mountain of Lord Brahma, where Brahma himself, installed this particular four-armed deity of Lord Narayan. And by the instructions of Lord Narayan, this deity was installed by Lord Brahma himself. And it is explained that Lord Narayan was very specific that what each of his four hands should hold, he said that I should be dressed in yellow silken garments, I should have a kaustuba money, I should have a blue sapphire, anointing me, and then I should be dressed with nice sandalwood and kesar paste, saffron paste, and I should carry the, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma in my four hands. I should always have a nice blue lotus with me. And I should be carved from one single block of stone. So this Alalnath deity, just like our Ugrasthanu Nrsingadev deity in Mayapur, he was carved also from one big boulder of living stone. And similarly, this Alalnath deity was also carved from one boulder of living stone. A stone is considered to be living when this stone-eating insect, there's a particular insect that eats stone. It's called Vajrakita. And this Vajrakita is, it enters through one side of the stone and making a, pipeline through the entire body of the stone, it passes out through the other side. So there's a small little tunnel, in the hollow, in the entire body of the stone. And such a stone is called a living stone. So Lord Nrsingadev had, Mayapur Nrsingadev is carved from one piece of such a living stone. And this Alalnath deity of Lord Narayan is also carved from one boulder of stone from a living stone. A very special deity. And it is explained that the reason why he was given the name Alalnath or Alaranath was because at one point the worship of this Alalnath deity was handed over to some Sri Vaishnavas who are descendants of Ramanujacharya, and they came to Brahmagiri to worship this particular deity of Lord Narayan. And from that day onwards, this deity actually started getting known as, Alaranath, the followers who are, the Alvars, basically the Alvars from the Sri Vaishnava community, they came and started worshipping Alarnath. So that's why they gave him the name Alarnath deity. And it is explained that one Brahmana family was taking care of, all the seva and the puja of this particular deity. And the specialty of this deity was that he would be offered hot sweet rice every single day. And this hot sweet rice, when it was offered, one day the little son of this Brahmana was asked to offer, and he forgot to, make it a little cold. He forgot to do that. And it is said that when the deity, just picked up the sweet rice to taste it, he burnt these two fingers. So this right hand of Lord Alalnath holds the Sudarshan Chakra, but it is a miracle that because he burnt these two fingers, it is said that the Sudarshan Chakra and these two fingers are not joined together. You can see a visible gap between the Sudarshan Chakra and these two fingers. It's a miracle. So, Lord Alalnath is said to have burnt these two fingers while tasting the sweet rice, so lovingly offered by this particular devotee. There's very sweet pastimes. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very attached to this deity of Alarnath, and he would go every year at least minimum 10 days, and he would spend in Brahmagiri in the association of Alalnath, so to satisfy his separation from Lord Jagannath. So Mahaprabhu, every day in the morning, he would come and he would take darshan of Lord Jagannath, the Mangalarti darshan of Lord Jagannath. And then when the Lord would have his bathing ceremony, during the bathing ceremony, those of us who've seen the bathing ceremony of Lord Jagannath, it's a very sweet ceremony. Um, Lord Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, before their bath, they are given datun. Datun means to brush their teeth. And they're given neem twigs. Neem twigs, which, and that is their toothbrush, the neem twig. And the neem twig, it is on the tip of the neem twig, it's cut apart like this, like that, so it gets like a brush, it becomes like a brush. And then his toothpaste, Jagannath's toothpaste, is camphor. So that camphor is like put on top of this like this cut apart tip of the neem twig, and then that is used as his toothpaste and his toothbrush. And Jagannath is he brushes his teeth, and then that toothbrush of Lord Jagannath would be given to Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu would also brush his teeth with that, while he would be given some Mahaprasad from Jagannath, and he would take that Mahaprasad and he would go straight to visit Srila Haridas Thakur. Srila Haridas Thakur would be in Jagannath Puri with Lord Chaitanya. And Haridas Thakur would never ever come to see Lord Jagannath, never come, because he came from a Mohammedan background. So he considered himself absolutely not qualified to even, go in front of the temple of Lord Jagannath. So very far away from the Jagannath temple, he had selected a place for him, which was called as Siddha Bakul. So this Siddha Bakul place was, if you visit that place, it's such a sanctuary. This is the Bhajan Kutir of Haridas Thakur, where Haridas Thakur, the Nama Acharya, chanted 300,000 names of the holy names every single day. And Mahaprabhu, carrying some Mahaprasad and doing his datun, he would come every day to this area, this Bhajan Kutir of Haridas Thakur, and both of the personalities would sit and chant and relish the holy names, both Haridas Thakur and Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So although Gauranga Mahaprabhu would always think that my dear devotee Haridas, out of his genuine humility, he is not coming to see me as Lord Jagannath. So what? I, as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, will go and see him every day. So in that mood, Mahaprabhu would visit Haridas Thakur every single day in the morning. And one morning when he visited Haridas Thakur was sitting, outside his Bhajan Kutir, and he was chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haridas Thakur was chanting his japa. And Mahaprabhu saw that Haridas Thakur is sitting under scorching sun, scorching heat. The sun was like, it was summertime, it was the peak of summer, and the sun was really pouring down its anger, it seemed like. So Haridas Thakur was, of course, he was beyond this, arrangement of the material circumstances. He was beyond that. He was transcendental. So this external circumstance didn't even seem to bother Haridas Thakur. But when Mahaprabhu arrived and he saw Haridas Thakur sitting with such genuine determination, genuine humility, genuine love, that Haridas Thakur was chanting the holy names, Mahaprabhu's heart just melted. And immediately the datun, the neem datun, the neem twig of toothbrush of Lord Jagannath that was there with Lord Chaitanya, what he did, he just took that and he just planted it right behind Haridas Thakur. He just put it to the ground. And immediately from there, a little, sprout came out. And within, moments, everyone, in front of everyone's eyes, a big sapling came out. It grew, 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 and it grew to a huge tree. And that tree became the Bokul tree. Bokul is actually a flower bearing tree. It's very, very, very dear to Srimati Radharani. This Bokul is, it is like buttons, it looks like buttons. And it's so beautiful and it's so fragrant that Srimati Radharani, it is said, it is mentioned in Vidagdha Madhava, that Srimati Radharani very carefully makes, flower ornaments with this bokul, and she offers it to Krishna. She makes, beautiful, waist belts. She makes armlets, bracelets for Krishna. And because they're so tiny, they're so fragile, they look extremely gorgeous. And the smell that comes, it is an intoxicating smell. This bokul has a very, very sweet fragrance. So everyone was shocked. And of course, Srimati Radharani, for Srimati Radharani, the Sakhis, the Ashtasakhis, would very, very beautifully carve and make beautiful, intricate jewelry, flower ornaments for Srimati Radharani. And especially Srimati Radharani would wear bokul earrings, it is mentioned. And she would wear a crown that is made of bokul. She would wear a waist belt that is made of bokul. Even she would, wear very delicate ankle belts that were made out of these bokul flowers. So like this, the Sakhis would make flower ornaments made out of this bokul flower for Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani herself would make flower ornaments, bokul ornaments for Krishna. So it is such a transcendental arrangement by Mahaprabhu, materially not possible, inexplainable, that when Mahaprabhu planted a neem twig, a bokul tree manifested. How could that happen? Because it is said that Srimati Radharani, Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is, extremely merciful to her devotees. So when she saw that her dear devotee, Haridas Thakur, is struggling so much in the heat, the motherly affection of Srimati Radharani could not tolerate it. So it was, neem twig that she was, Mahaprabhu was brushing his teeth with. But as soon as he placed it, her favorite tree of bokul came, manifested. Because bokul is very dear to Srimati Radharani. So that bokul tree manifested, and it gave so much cooling shade to Haridas Thakur. And that's when this particular place of the Bhajan Kutir of Srila Haridas Thakur came to be known till today as Siddha Bokul. Siddha means perfection. Which means that sitting under the shade of this bokul tree, Haridas Thakur achieved all perfection. So that is why this place is known as Siddha Bokul, where Mahaprabhu would spend at least, till mid-morning. Mahaprabhu would spend with Haridas Thakur. They would, Mahaprabhu would very lovingly offer the Mahaprasad that he received from Jagannath, and with great love, with great devotion, Haridas Thakur would honor that Mahaprasad given by the lotus hands of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And then they would relish the chanting of the holy names together. And then Mahaprabhu, during the mid-morning time, then he would just start running to see one of his very, very dear associates. And that was Gadadhar Prabhu. Shri Gadadhar Pandit, as we were mentioning a couple of days ago, last week actually, we were mentioning in the Katha, that in Krishna Leela, we used to see that how Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna were having, the elders of the family, like, Jatila Kutila, the mother-in-law and the sister-in-law of, Srimati Radharani. And, so many of the elders, they would always try to keep Radha and Krishna separated. It was only the cowherd boys and it was the girlfriends of Radharani and the boyfriends of Sri Krishna that were trying to unite both of them. But the elders would always try to keep them away from each other. But in Gaura Leela, in Sri Chaitanya Leela, the elders would try to keep Gadadhar with Mahaprabhu. That is the transcendental difference between, Gaura Leela and Krishna Leela. In Krishna Leela, they were, the elders would try to keep them away. And in Gaura Leela, the elders would make excuses that Gadadhar, only you can control Mahaprabhu. Only you can take care of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And under the direct instructions of Srimati Sachi Mata, Gadadhar had actually come to come to be with Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. And because Mahaprabhu had taken sannyas, Gadadhar also accepted sannyas. So as soon as Gadadhar accepted sannyas, Mahaprabhu told him, hey Gadadhar, you became a sannyasi now. So now you should travel and preach. See, like how I am traveling, I am, going around, you should also go around. So then Gadadhar said, no. I am Kshetra Sannyasi. That, I have taken Kshetra Sannyas. Kshetra Sannyas means that one who does not, a sannyasi who chooses not to travel. They are bound to one particular Kshetra. So when Gadadhar actually had insisted that, Mahaprabhu would take him to Vrindavan, when Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, after, the Rath Yatra, when Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, Gadadhar was insisting that you have to take me. And then Mahaprabhu said, but Gadadhar, you are a Kshetra Sannyasi. How can you come with me? And then Gadadhar said, Mahaprabhu, you are my Kshetra. That wherever you are, that is Kshetra for me. So, I don't care. I don't have to be bound in Jagannath Puri. That you are the Kshetra for me. So wherever you are, that is my Kshetra. So I be with you, then I am still not breaking my vow that I have taken a Kshetra sannyasi. But of course, Mahaprabhu convinced Gadadhar and, asked him to stay back in Jagannath Puri. And Gadadhar did that. He actually stayed back in Jagannath Puri. And Gadadhar used to worship this very beautiful deity of Tota Gopinath. Tota means garden. And he was a very beautiful, tall deity, black marble deity of Gopinath, of Krishna. And he's got an amazing Tribhanga form. The form of Gopinath is actual Tribhanga. You can see the threefold bending form of Gopinath. And because the area where Gadadhar would stay, because of the potency of Gadadhar, that place had transformed like Vrindavan. It had become like Vrindavan. So, this place, the Bhajan Kutir of Gadadhar, in the temple of Gopinath, and surrounding that temple was a very, very beautiful garden. And in that garden, Gadadhar would grow plenty of, very nice flowers. He would grow very nice fruits, vegetables that he would collect and then offer and cook and offer to his beloved deity of Gopinath. So that's why, because Gopinath was residing in the midst of this transcendental garden, he came to be known as Tota Gopinath. So Mahaprabhu, every day during the mid-morning, after he would see Haridas Thakur at Siddha Bakul, Mahaprabhu would run to see Gadadhar and to see Tota Gopinath. And right across from Tota Gopinath, right opposite Tota Gopinath, there used to be, and there still is, very, very beautiful, heaps and heaps of sand, like from the beach, from the ocean, the sand, they made like little sand dunes, it's just been there. And Mahaprabhu, whenever he would run and come from Siddha Bakul, whenever he would see those sand dunes, he would run like a madman. He would run towards those sand dunes and say, Giriraj. He would just run towards those sand dunes and embrace those sand dunes and just cry tears of ecstasy and say, Giri Govardhan Lal, I am missing you. You are here, Giriraj Govardhan. So Mahaprabhu would embrace those sand dunes, remembering his dearmost devotee, Shri Giriraj Govardhan Lal Ki Jai. So like this, then Mahaprabhu would embrace those sand dunes. He would do some leelas there. He would remember Shri Giriraj, and then he would come and visit Tota Gopinath. And then, in the association of Shri Gadadhar, Mahaprabhu would read Srimad Bhagavatam with Gadadhar. Gadadhar was an expert narrator. And he would narrate so beautifully, he would narrate so mesmerizingly, that Mahaprabhu would be stunned. He would just, he would remain glued. Mahaprabhu would become so stunned hearing the ambrosial nectar flowing from the mouth of Gadadhar that Mahaprabhu would just keep listening and listening to the Bhagavad Katha given by Sri Gadadhar Prabhu. And Mahaprabhu would especially love to hear two specific pastimes from the Bhagavatam. One is the Katha of Sri Dhruva Maharaj, and one is the Katha of Sri Prahlad Maharaj. So these two Kathas Mahaprabhu would hear repeatedly again and again and again from the lotus mouth of Gadadhar. And especially the way Gadadhar would narrate these pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Charitra, that Mahaprabhu would become so attached, and he would say, every time I hear these pastimes from you, Gadadhar, I get Nava Nava Rasa. I get newer and newer, I relish it so much. I get newer and newer realizations every time I hear this katha from you. So please narrate this, Prahlad Katha and Dhruva Katha for me again. So like this, Gadadhar and Mahaprabhu would relish listening and narrating kathas from Srimad Bhagavatam. And then it would be lunchtime, and Gadadhar would personally serve Mahaprabhu the Mahaprasad from Gopinath, which Gadadhar would have cooked with his own lotus hands. And then Mahaprabhu would continue listening to Bhagavad Katha the rest of the afternoon from Gadadhar. And then he would come back in the evening for the evening arati of Lord Jagannath. And then when the sun was about to set, Mahaprabhu would return to his residence at Gambhira. Now when Mahaprabhu would enter at Gambhira, in Gambhira, Gadadhar Prabhu was not allowed to set foot in. There's a very specific reason for that Mahaprabhu never allowed Gadadhar to come to Gambhira. Because whenever Mahaprabhu would enter inside Gambhira, as I said, that he would take on this very, very serious mood in separation from Krishna. Radharani in separation from Krishna. So if Gadadhar would come, then that is Srimati Radharani herself coming. So that would become a Rashabhango. It would become, a contradiction of the rasas. So Mahaprabhu told Gadadhar that you can never ever come to Gambhira. And Gadadhar always respected that. He knew that why Mahaprabhu is not allowing Gadadhar to come to Gambhira. So Gambhira, Mahaprabhu would enter, and from the mouth of Kashi Mishra, from the mouth of so many other senior of Mahaprabhu's Parshads, Mahaprabhu would just continue to either chant the holy names, or he would just, immerse himself in hearing Krishna Katha. Very, very serious sadhana Mahaprabhu would render in Gambhira. So days passed by like this, and 18 years of Mahaprabhu's glorious life Mahaprabhu spent in Gambhira. in Jagannath Puri. And it is said that one time, one day, when Mahaprabhu came to see Srila Haridas Thakur, at that time he found Haridas to be extremely sick. And Haridas explained to Mahaprabhu that, my dear Lord, I have a desire, that I know that you are going to be winding up your pastimes very soon from this world. And before you do so, I want to leave. Looking at your lotus face, I want to leave from here because I cannot tolerate your separation. So, my Lord, please give me that permission. So Mahaprabhu just embraced Haridas, and like this, Mahaprabhu kept coming. And day by day, when he would come, he would find that Haridas is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And one day, when Mahaprabhu came to see Haridas Thakur, at that time he saw that Haridas Thakur was very, very sad. And he said that, Mahaprabhu, I'm very sad today. Mahaprabhu said, why? Why, my dear Haridas? Why are you sad? He said that the oath that I had taken, that I will chant minimum 300,000 names of the Hare Krishna mantra every day, I am not able to fulfill that vow anymore. And Mahaprabhu said, my dear Haridas, every pore of every limb of your body is transcendental, and it is vibrating the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Anybody who is coming near to you can hear every pore of every limb of your body resounding the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, my dear Haridas, never at one point also think that you are not chanting, because every pore of your body is immersed in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then Haridas Thakur said that, my dear Lord, very, very powerful statement Haridas Thakur had actually made. He said that, my dear Lord, you are like this golden lotus, and my eyes are like these two bumblebees. Please, just allow me to suck the nectar from your golden lotus-like face. And in this way, when Mahaprabhu was lovingly gazing at Sri Haridas Thakur, and Haridas Thakur's lotus eyes, his bumblebee-like eyes, were fixed upon the lotus-like face of, golden Mahaprabhu, at that time, Haridas Thakur left his body. And his desire of leaving his body before Gauranga Mahaprabhu was fulfilled by Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself. He wanted to, be able to leave his body while seeing the lotus face of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So as soon as Haridas Thakur left his body, Mahaprabhu picked up with his own two lotus hands, Mahaprabhu picked up the fragile, delicate body of Haridas Thakur, and he chanted and he chanted and he danced in ecstasy. And then there was a huge procession that, they went in a huge procession to the ocean. In the ocean, Mahaprabhu himself bathed the transcendental body of Srila Haridas Thakur. And when he bathed the transcendental body of Haridas Thakur in the ocean, Mahaprabhu declared that Aaj theke samudra ek mahatirtha hoilo, which means that from today, I declare that this ocean has become a mahatirtha. Generally we know that there are 7 tirthas, 7 holy rivers. Gangecha Yamune Chaiva, Godavari Saraswati, Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhin Kuru. So these are the 7 rivers, holy rivers, and they are considered to be tirthas. That when we take bath in these holy rivers, it is said that it washes away all our, negativity. All our sins get washed away. All of our negativity gets washed away. And after bathing the transcendental body of Haridas Thakur in the ocean, Mahaprabhu declared that this ocean is no longer just a tirtha. It became a mahatirtha, আজ থেকে সমুদ্র এক মহাতীর্থ হইল, that it became a maha tirtha, great source of purification. So till today, actually, whenever we go to any ocean, because although Mahaprabhu washed the body of Haridas Thakur in the Bay of Bengal, that ocean, but all those oceans, of the world, they are all connected. Bay of Bengal flows into the Arabian Sea, then it flows into the Atlantic, it flows into the Pacific. So in this way, all the oceans are actually interconnected. The waters are mixing somehow or the other because there's no boundary separating the waters, right? So whenever we take a bath, whenever we go to any ocean, in any part of the world, please remember these transcendental words of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And before stepping in to frolic in the waters of the ocean, definitely, take the waters of the ocean, throw upon your head and say that this is Mahatirtha. This is what Mahaprabhu has declared, that Haridas Thakur's body, the body of the Nama Acharya that Mahaprabhu has bathed, Mahaprabhu declared this ocean to become Mahatirtha. And of course, it is Mahatirtha, we also understand that not just because of Haridas Thakur, of course, as Mahaprabhu declared that, but we also know that Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself would take bath in the ocean every single day. Every day Mahaprabhu would take bath in the ocean. And then after coming out of the ocean, bringing the body of Haridas Thakur from the ocean, Mahaprabhu dressed the body of Haridas Thakur in clean clothes, made, beautiful tilak markings on all 13 parts of his body, put a beautiful garland around his neck, and then Mahaprabhu in his own hands, he actually, gave samadhi to the body of Srila Haridas Thakur. That is why we see that the samadhi of Srila Haridas Thakur is very near to the ocean in Jagannath Puri, almost on the banks, on the shores of the ocean. The Haridas Thakur Samadhi Mandir is located till today. So Mahaprabhu, after he gave samadhi to the transcendental body of Srila Haridas Thakur, then Mahaprabhu, declared that all the Vaishnavas will be given a huge feast in honor of Srila Haridas Thakur. And, devotees cooked up a huge feast, and all the sweetmeat shops around Puri were invited to offer all the sweets that they had from their shops. They brought for this huge feast. And in this feast, Mahaprabhu made each and every devotee sit down, and Mahaprabhu personally served prasadam to each and every devotee in this feast in honor of Srila Haridas Thakur. And Mahaprabhu that day was declaring that you should take akantha prasad. Akantha means till your throat. You should keep eating. Just keep eating Mahaprasad. So all the Mahaprasad from Jagannath Mandir and, devotees cooking and all of this was brought in, and Mahaprabhu personally served each and every Vaishnava. And then Mahaprabhu himself honored so much prasad that day. And this was the way that this divine personality, Srila Haridas Thakur, wound up his pastimes, as was his desire. He wound up his pastimes before the very presence of Sriman Gauranga Mahaprabhu. This is the nirjas of Srila Haridas Thakur, the disappearance of Sri Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Then Mahaprabhu continued his Leela in Jagannath Puri. And then, like every day, as we were describing, Mahaprabhu would also take out his Sankirtan party. He would, inspire each and every one to chant the holy names of Krishna. And then Mahaprabhu started experiencing huge separation from Krishna, unbearable separation from Krishna. And It is said that Mahaprabhu's servant at that time was Govinda. So Kashi Mishra and every other devotee, they had warned Govinda that when Mahaprabhu enters Gambhira, you should make sure that Govinda, you never fall asleep. And don't let Mahaprabhu out of your sight. Always be with Mahaprabhu. Because Mahaprabhu had become uncontrollable. He would just leave, and he would just, one time he just went into the ocean and just saying, "Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna?" The fishermen brought him back, caught him in a net. And, he was just going on chanting Hari 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 Hari, because he just saw the beautiful golden form of Mahaprabhu, and he was infected, with non-stop the name of Krishna was coming on his tongue. This was the effect of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu would just leave. It was impossible to control Mahaprabhu. So the devotees had given special service to Govinda, that you have to make sure that you're always around. So one day, one night, one fateful night, Mahaprabhu put Govinda in deep nidra. And he opened the doors of Gambhira and he left. There are three ways that are actually mentioned that Mahaprabhu is said to have wound up his pastimes. And one is that he entered the temple of Lord Jagannath and never came out from there. The second is that he entered the ocean and he never came out from there. But the third reason is the one that we hear from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which mentions that Mahaprabhu actually came to Tota Gopinath early in the morning. Everyone was asleep, and he entered into the body of Tota Gopinath, and Mahaprabhu wound up his mortal pastimes. So because Mahaprabhu entered the body of Tota Gopinath, it is said that in the right knee of Tota Gopinath, there is a crack. And that crack can be visible even till today. If you go during the Mangalarti time to take darshan of Tota Gopinath and you request the pujari lifts the dhoti of Tota Gopinath, who is now in a sitting position, because after the disappearance of Gadadhar Prabhu, Gadadhar was, he could not, after Mahaprabhu's disappearance, Gadadhar also could not, tolerate separation from Gauranga Mahaprabhu, so he also left. So, the service of Tota Gopinath came to, from generation to generation, it came to one devotee known as Mamu Thakur. So this Mamu Thakur, he was serving Gopinath from a very young age. And when he was serving Gopinath, when he grew old, he became so old and so, his body was like shriveled up and he could not, stand up straight. And Gopinath is very tall. So to do the Shringar on Gopinath, he was not able to. He was like shriveled up like this. So then, Gopinath said to Mamu Thakur that, "You don't have to serve me, it's okay." Then Mamu Thakur said, No, this is my Nitya Seva. Till I am in this body, I will serve you every day. I will serve you. So then one day when Mamu Thakur came in the morning to do Mangalarti, he saw that Gopinath, who was standing, he sat down. So, generally we had first heard actually that Gopinath sat down for Gadadhar Prabhu, but actually this was revealed to us by, the pujaris in Tota Gopinath, and also by His Holiness Gauranga Prem Maharaj did the research that, Gadadhar was not at all so old that Gopinath would have to sit down for him, because Gadadhar also left, soon after Mahaprabhu's departure, Gadadhar also left. So he was very young. He was younger than Mahaprabhu. So 48 is the year that Mahaprabhu, left and wrapped up his pastime. So Gadadhar also was around that age when he wrapped up his pastimes. So at 48, no one gets that old that they can't stand up. But the descendant, not, like the direct descendant of Gadadhar, no, but the worship, of the different Brahminical families that were taking care of Gopinath after Gadadhar was this Mamu Thakur. And Mamu Thakur, it is mentioned that it was for Mamu Thakur that Gopinath sat down. So when we see Gopinath today, you will see him sitting in Padmasana. And he is, but even if he's sitting down, he still looks so tall. His body is so tall, so erect, he's sitting down. It's beautiful deity of Gopinath. And one very sweet pastime that I wanted to mention, and I purposely didn't want to mention that before, because I didn't want to end our pastime with the wrapping up of Mahaprabhu's Leela, but I wanted to end with this very sweet pastime that one day Gauranga Mahaprabhu, of course, was in Jagannath Puri, and one day Lord Nityananda came to see Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He just showed up. And when he came straight to the house of Gadadhar, Nityananda Prabhu. And Gadadhar and Nityananda Prabhu, they saw each other, they, embraced each other, and they said, Gadadhar said, "Oh, Nityananda, how come you're here? It's not the time of Rath Yatra. How come you came?" So Nitai said, "Oh, yes, Gadadhar, I was just feeling separation from all of you, so I just thought I'll come and pay a visit. So that's why I came. And look what I have brought." And from his, pack of things, Nityananda Prabhu took out a big, like a sack of rice. And he said that this is some special rice that I have got from East Bengal. There were some devotees who came from East Bengal, from Bangladesh, and those devotees, they brought this Sugandhita chal. Sugandhita means very, very nice, fragrant rice that they have brought this. And I thought that, I don't want to have this Sugandhita rice all by myself. So that's why also I came to you, so that you, my dear Gadadhar, you cook this Sugandhita chal and make nice offering for Gopinath, and we will honor the Mahaprasad. So Gadadhar was so happy. And as soon as Nityananda gave that, little, bundle of rice to Gadadhar, Gadadhar was, the aroma coming from that raw rice was so fragrant. Gadadhar said, "Wow, this is really good rice." And Nityananda Prabhu said, "Yeah, I know. That's why I got it for Gopinath. So go and cook." So Gadadhar, he said, "Okay, I'll cook. Nitai, you go and take bath in the ocean. And by the time you come back, I will have the Mahaprasad ready. So you go and take bath and you come back." So Nitai said, okay, I'll go and I'll see Mahaprabhu also, and I'll go take bath and I'll come back. So then Gadadhar cooked. And how did Gadadhar cook? He made that rice preparation. Then he just picked up some, green leafy vegetables, some shak from his tota, from his garden. He just picked up some shak, and he also picked up some tamarind leaves. And these tamarind leaves, Gadadhar would make a very special chutney for Gopinath, which was very, very dear to Gopinath. And Gadadhar had a very special recipe how he would make chutney with these tamarind leaves. He would just take the tamarind leaves and he would just crush it in mortar and pestle. He would just crush it. And tamarind leaves are very sour, very, very sour. So Gadadhar used to bring the water from the ocean to especially make this particular item. He would bring the salty water from the ocean and he would make it sit so that, all the dirt would settle down, and he would take the, filter water from the top of the, ocean water. And with that ocean water, he would, take this little, he would not make it a fine paste of this tamarind leaves, but it would be just crushed. And that he would just put it in his karhai, and put some, these black cumin seeds, black jeera. He would put that, and then he would put this, crushed tamarind leaves, and then he would put this ocean water. And the tamarind leaves are sour, the ocean water is salty, so he would not even put even a drop of salt in this preparation. And then when the water would boil, and then he would just put some date jaggery, some jaggery, he would add it into this so that it becomes a sweet and sour chutney. And this is very, very dear to Lord Gopinath. Gopinath's most favorite dish is this Tentul Patar chutney. Tentul means tamarind, Pata means leaf, Tentul Patar chutney. It's very dear to Gopinath. So Gadadhar, that day for the offering, he made this chutney, this tamarind leaf chutney, and he made this shak that he just, abuna shak. Abuna shak means, not that he just sat and he, carefully collected, the leaves, the shak. He did not, he just picked up, the wild leaves that were just growing in the garden. He just picked up those wild leaves. Abuna shak. He just picked those up, and then he just made a very beautiful shak, preparation. And he had made this very fragrant rice. He had cooked the rice and made very nice. And the rice was so nice. When it came out ready, each of the grains of the rice was one, separate. And they appeared as if they were, like white lotuses just blooming, so tender, so soft, and so fragrant. When Gadadhar arranged this rice in the plate of Gopinath, that mount of rice on the plate of Gopinath appeared as if, blooming lotuses, white lotuses, so fragrant, so tender, so delicate, and so fragile. And then he had this tamarind leaf chutney, and he had some shak, and he offered that, simple, sweet offering to Gopinath. And then, he was waiting for Nityananda Ram to come back. And Nityananda Ram came back, and then Gopinath had, already honored the bhoga. And so the Mahaprasad came out, and Gadadhar made a very beautiful, sitting place for Nityananda Ram. And, he was just starting to serve Nityananda Prabhu. And as soon as the first morsel of rice was served on the plate of Nityananda Ram, at that very moment, Gauranga Mahaprabhu walked in. Gauranga Mahaprabhu walked in, and he said, this aroma from your cooking, Gadadhar, dragged me from Siddha Bokul, and I came to you. And Mahaprabhu came and said, Nitayer ana chaul, Gadadharer ranna, Gopinather Mahaprasad, tate ki amar kono bhag nei, which means that the fragrant rice brought by Nityananda, the cooking of that rice by Gadadhar, and that rice being tasted by Gopinath, don't I have a little share in this Mahaprasad? Mahaprabhu asked like that, with genuine humility. And Nityananda Ram and Gadadhar were in ecstasy. They said, yes, Mahaprabhu, please come join us for Mahaprasad. And the three lords, they sat down and they relished each and every morsel that they were taking in. It was pure ambrosial nectar that they were eating and tasting, the Mahaprasad, so lovingly cooked by Gadadhar, so lovingly eaten by Gopinath, and so lovingly brought, the raw materials brought by Lord Nityananda Ram. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he is non-different from Sri Radha and Krishna. He is, Radha Krishna combined as Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu's coming to us Mahaprabhu came from Goloka Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu's planet, the place of Mahaprabhu's residence is in the topmost corner of Goloka Vrindavan Dham, called as Shweta Dvipa. That's where Gauranga Mahaprabhu resides. And because Mahaprabhu came from Goloka Vrindavan, when Mahaprabhu came, he just flung open the doors of Goloka Vrindavan. And Mahaprabhu did not close the doors of Goloka Vrindavan behind him. So those doors of Goloka Vrindavan, by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, is open till today. That's why we have access. We know all of this, that if Gauranga Mahaprabhu would not be there, who would tell us about these confidential pastimes of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, if it was not for Gauranga Mahaprabhu? He is the one who brought to us this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is a mantra coming from Goloka Vrindavan. As we said in the beginning of Gaura Katha, that Mahaprabhu came with the garland. He came with a garland. And what is that garland? The flowers of that garland are Krishna Prema. And that Krishna Prema flowers are strung on the thread of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The Mahamantra is the thread on which the flowers of Krishna Prema are strung. And Mahaprabhu is just garlanding without seeing any qualifications of whoever comes in front of him. Whether they deserve it, whether they desire it, not seeing anything, freely, just freely Mahaprabhu is giving this garland. He's just garlanding everybody with this Krishna Prema. That is Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So as Sri Basu Ghosh always, has written this very beautiful song, that if Gauranga Mahaprabhu would not come, what would happen to us? Jodi Gaura na hoito, tobe ki hoito, kemone dhoritam deho. রাধার মহিমা প্রেম রস সীমা জগতে জানাতো কে যদি গৌর না হইতো তবে কি হইতো কেমনে ধরিতাম দেহ. So this is Gauranga Mahaprabhu. That if Gauranga Mahaprabhu would not come, who would propagate the glories of Mahabhav Swarupini Srimati Radha Thakurani? How would we know what happens in Goloka Vrindavan? If Mahaprabhu would not come, how would we know? So this Kali Yuga, we are extremely fortunate that just 500 years ago, Mahaprabhu appeared. Krishna himself came from Goloka Vrindavan, and those doors to Goloka Vrindavan are open for us till today. But it is up to us to realize that Goloka Vrindavan actually exists in the, in the lotus feet, the lotus feet of our spiritual masters, our Guru Vargas. That is Goloka Vrindavan. If we can seek shelter of the lotus feet of our spiritual masters, of our Guru Vargas, that is like seeking shelter of Goloka Vrindavan directly. Just like Gadadhar said to Mahaprabhu that you are my kshetra. Wherever you are, that is my kshetra, Mahaprabhu. So if we can say, for us to even realize Goloka Vrindavan, we may not be at that level. And it is understandable. But the representative of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, whom we can see as our Guru Vargas, their lotus feet is non-different from the holy Dham, from Goloka Vrindavan. So if we can sincerely seek shelter at the lotus feet of our spiritual masters, then we are in Goloka Vrindavan. So today we will end here, and tomorrow, on the most auspicious appearance day of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we'll have a special katha where we'll go on a virtual parikrama of Navadvip Dham, and there will be something very surprising in the end. I hope you all will like it. So today we will end here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Vartaman Guru Vrind ki jai. Sriman Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments, or reflections? We can take that now. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Gaura Mataji. Very, very wonderful lecture. Thank you for enlightening us. It's very sweet science of Gauranga. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kaumudiki Mataji.
I have one question.
Yes.
The tree is a kind of Natashala. What kind of tree is it? Is it a kadam tree or?
You know, very frankly, I don't remember. I have seen that tree, but unfortunately, I don't remember what tree it is. It could be kadamba, it could be tamal. I think it was tamal. Let me just find out, and I will let you know.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I couldn't skip off away from the class. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If anybody has any question,
Hare Krishna.
please go ahead. Thank you, Mataji.
It is a tamal tree.
Tamal tree, huh?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. It is a tamal tree. Any more questions?
Hare Krishna, HG Kalasudha Mataji, Koti Dandavat Pranam. Mataji, you are explaining the Leela so deeply. You are totally absorbed in that Leela, so that when Haridas Thakur, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking your hand, so we just feel that Leela, that much potency in your class. And the Tota Gopinath story by Gopinath Mansi, with Dr. Vishwarup Prabhuji in Bhaktivedanta Hospital, we are able to enter in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. Mataji, I forgot one thing, that why there is a crack in Tota Gopinath.
Well, the crack in the knee symbolizes that Gauranga Mahaprabhu entered the body of Tota Gopinath. So
Yes,
that is the crack that symbolizes that Mahaprabhu entered into the body of Tota Gopinath.
Pray for us that this year or next year able to enter in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham.
Hare Krishna. Jagannath Puri Dham, Nilachal Dham is called as Shankha-khetra. Shankha-khetra means that it is in the shape of a conch shell, and it is said that because of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, that this Shankha-khetra, this Nilachal Dham, is actually a culmination of all the three dhams. Three dhams means of Vrindavan Dham, of Mayapur Dham, and Jagannath Puri Dham. So all the three dhams actually are culminating in Jagannath Puri, because it is said that in Madhurya Leela, you know, Vrindavan is Madhurya Leela. So in the area of Tota Gopinath is where Mahaprabhu would enjoy Madhurya Leela. You know, he would enjoy Brajaraj, you know, he would enjoy the Brajaras pastimes. And in the Shriji Mandir area, in the temple of Lord Jagannath, is where Mahaprabhu would enjoy Aishwarya Bhava. Aishwarya Bhava is, the bhava of, of opulence. That is the bhava of Jagannath Puri, is Aishwarya. And Mayapur's bhav is Audarya. Audarya means magnanimous. So this magnanimous bhav of Gauranga Mahaprabhu was all pervading in Jagannath Puri, you know. So it's very special. Nilachal Dham is actually very special because it is said that this Aishwarya, Audarya, and Madhurya, all three rasas simultaneously exist in this particular dham. So that's why Nilachal Dham is very, very special. Thank you.
Mataji, can you please sing that bhajan? At present you sing before 5-10 minutes. Yadi gaur na ho to.
Sure.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So I have a question online. Indu is asking this question. Could you please explain how to celebrate Gaur Purnima? Well, I'll give a little brief, and tomorrow's class will explain it in detail. See, the appearance of any festival, the appearance or disappearance of any personality that we are celebrating, that personality is non-different from that particular day. You know, so tomorrow is the appearance of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and we should pray to Gauranga Mahaprabhu that we can realize that this day, that tomorrow's day is non-different from him. It is him personified, Gauranga Mahaprabhu personified is that particular day. So be always, with the mindset of, meditating on pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, chanting the holy names, associating with devotees, rendering services. So when we do all of that, the purpose of doing all of these is the ultimate purpose is to please Gauranga Mahaprabhu, so that Mahaprabhu chooses to make his permanent residence in the region of our heart. So that is the goal, that we are begging Mahaprabhu that we are cleansing our heart through the chanting, we are cleansing our heart through association with devotees, through our different services, that Mahaprabhu would become very pleased with our sincerity and he would choose to make his permanent residence in the region of our heart. So that is the goal, that is the purpose, and that is the way that we can celebrate Gaur Purnima, that if we can invite the Lord to, remember him, just like we will remember him tomorrow, that not just tomorrow, but we can remember the Lord every single day, every single moment of our life. That should be our prayer, that should be our aspiration. So this is just in brief, but we will talk about it in detail tomorrow. Any more questions? Okay, if there's no more questions, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, you want me to sing Jodi Gaur na hoito?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Okay, so if there's no more questions, may I go ahead and honor Mataji's request?
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you. So this song has been written by Srila Vasudev Ghosh. যদি গৌর না হইতো তবে কি হইতো, কেমনে ধরিতাম দেহ, রাধার মহিমা প্রেম রস সীমা জগতে জানাত কে, মধুর বৃন্দা বিপিন মাধুরী প্রবেশ চাতুরী বড় যুবতী ভাবের ভকতি সকতি হইত কার, যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম দেহ। গাও গাও পুন গৌরাঙ্গের গুণ সরল করিয়া মন। এ ভব সাগরে এমন দয়াল না দেখি একজন, যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম দেহ। গৌরাঙ্গ বলিয়া নাগেনু গলিয়া কেমনে ধরিনু দেহ। দেবাসুর হিয়া পাষাণ দিয়া কেমনে গড়িয়াছে, যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম দেহ। রাধার মহিমা প্রেম রস সীমা জগতে জানাত কে, যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম দেহ। জয় শ্রী গৌরাঙ্গ মহাপ্রভু কি জয়।
Ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. Koti koti dandat pranam to your seva. Can you sing separately so we can say, we can hear it again?
I'll definitely try. But all of this Gauranga Mahaprabhu's leelas that has been made available to us by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has given us this transcendental knowledge, transcendental sweetness of the pastimes of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So if Prabhupada would not have come, how would we know about all of this? And there's a very beautiful song written by Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, Jodi Prabhupada na hoito. So I'll just sing one stanza of this particular song, Jodi Prabhupada na hoito. যদি প্রভুপাদ না হইত তবে কি হইত, এ জীবন বহিত কিসে। নিতাই গৌরের অপার করুণা কে দিত সকল দেশে, যদি প্রভুপাদ না হইত তবে কি হইত, এ জীবন বহিত কিসে। জয় শ্রীলা প্রভুপাদ কি জয়, শ্রীলা জয়পতাকা স্বামী গুরু মহারাজ কি জয়, ইস্কন বর্তমান গুরু বৃন্দ কি জয়। হরে কৃষ্ণ।
Thank you very much, Mataji, for your and we are very grateful to you. We look forward to you, especially for tomorrow. Very, very wonderful. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much.
Anybody has any questions? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. This is not a question. This is to make a quick comment.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out if I should have even mentioned it before, but I was especially appreciative of the fact that you went in such detail about Haridas Thakur and the Bhikkhu tree pastimes, because I have, some, attraction for Haridas Thakur and the Bhikkhu tree. And so, somebody, I had gone to Jagannath Puri and 2 days ago they gave me a gift of a big chunk of the Siddhapur tree and a tiny Lord Jagannath that was carved out of that tree. And so that was 2 days ago. So to hear such in-depth pastime, from you today, it was like just 2 days later, it was like very special for me. So I just want to thank you very much for that.
Jai, Jai. So whenever you look at that special gift from Siddha Bokul, please remember all of us and share that so we can also partake of that mercy, that special mercy you have got. Very fortunate, Mataji. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you.
Well, you just gave me an idea. Maybe I will try to, not technologically savvy, I will try to take a picture.
That would be wonderful.
And,
yes, please.
And, it's so nice too that, because of this chunk of the tree has some, like a natural deep groove, I can just, put Lord Jagannath in that groove. He sits there so perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
He sits there like that groove was made for him to sit there.
Right.
And so that's how I have it already. So if I'm able to send the picture, that's what you'll see.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you.
And thank you so much for that in-depth history of Kailas and the in-depth explanation of the tree. I really, really appreciated that.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody have any questions for Mataji? We can end the call here now. Mataji, is it okay with you?
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
This session is no longer being recorded. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.